Well, hello, everybody. Hello, welcome. This is Friday night. It is 7 p.m. Central Time. I'm sitting in my bedroom slash studio slash office right on the beach in Hawaii. Do you see that behind me? It's actually really just, a green screen, but isn't it beautiful? And live from Columbia, Tennessee, my co-host for Dinner Conversations, Mr. Andrew Greer. Hey, Andrew.
Hey, Mark. Hey, everybody.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good Friday night. I'm in my home office slash kitchen slash buffalo art room.
Yeah, I like that.
You like that?
Buffalo art. That's very nice.
Thank you very much. It's better than a buffalo head.
Well, I have a friend, who raises buffalo, and he
Really?
will sell you a head when he processes them.
You think that would look good up there?
I think it would. They're very expensive, though. I couldn't believe it. They're like, he gets $1,700 for them.
I love the animals too much. Though you know that buffaloes, which seem very docile while they're out there roaming the range like cattle, right?
They'll kill you.
They will. Up in Wyoming, when I got that art piece where I stayed a little while, they had just had in Yellowstone Park, there were these tourists, I think they were from Japan, and they tried to ride the buffalo, and it killed them.
No.
I know.
Well, that was ignorant.
That's your good news Friday night.
And that's just sad because it's like, if you're their kid and you have to explain how your parent died, everybody thinks, well, your parent's an idiot. You have to make up something. You cannot allow your parent to have died because they thought they could go pet a buffalo. And then everybody knows you were the child of a bona fide idiot.
It's actually complications from COVID, I hear.
Oh, maybe. Okay, what are we doing tonight? Lead us, oh fearful leader.
I shall lead you. The first thing we're doing is we have a very, very, very special episode of Dinner Conversations. We thought season 3 was over, and season 3 is over, actually. But when our friend Charlie Daniels passed away just a few weeks ago, you remember.
And we had just interviewed him.
That's right. I mean, he was 82. He had just turned 83.
All right, you guys, you remember when we did the Smitty 35-year friend concert? Mm-hmm. Well, the next day is when we recorded this interview for Dinner Conversations with Charlie Daniels, and I'd never met him. I was so excited and thrilled to get to sit down and talk to him.
Yeah, just the night before he had, right, like you said, the Michael thing played. Devil Went Down to Georgia,
and so that was when. When was that?
that was about a year ago, I guess. I can't remember exactly.
Was
it was
that
a little
long ago?
Maybe it was less than that. I can't remember exactly.
And
but
anyway, so we're going to show the interview. We were going to save it for what, season 4?
Right, which isn't till next January.
Right.
But yeah,
but we decided to go ahead and show it tonight at 8 p.m. on the Dinner Conversations YouTube channel. I'll be watching. Andrew will be watching. I hope you'll join us over there at 8 p.m. Central tonight, which is in about 57 minutes.
And the link is actually in the notes here, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. You can actually go to the link and you can ring the bell, which will set a reminder so that when it gets close to 8 p.m., if we're already done here, which we should be, then it'll send you a reminder of where to go. You can just click the link and watch with us live. So it's a true premiere, and it's the first place it's premiering. It's not on Amazon Prime yet. It's not anywhere else. It's not even on Apple Podcasts yet. It's literally just going to be on YouTube. But you remember we interviewed him at his studio here in Nashville. So we're actually at Charlie's house.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if I told you this, Mark, but we had some footage from the Michael W. Smith big soiree where he had sung a song, and I'll wait for you to watch it to see it. But we made this intro out of it because our assistant director, Chris, was in the audience filming it just with his handheld camera, like he was an audience member, like with an iPhone. It's very, very cool, very documentary style. And, of course, now posthumously, it's kind of haunting. But I asked Chaz Corzine, your good friend Mark, who is Michael W. Smith's manager, if we could use the footage for this episode. And he said 2 things. One, absolutely just ask David Corlew, Charlie's manager, if it's okay with him. If it is, it's with me. And then he said, and only if you'll tell Mark that he needs to email me and tell me that I was absolutely right. There's no way in the world I should have missed that Michael W. Smith concert. In all caps.
He had to beg me to come to that. I didn't want to do anything last year. I got my years mixed up. I think the Lord had told me I could take this year off because there was a pandemic coming, and I didn't know it, but I overheard it wrong because I took the year before off. I took last year off. And he was begging me. He said, Mark, you're going to be so upset. So I finally agreed to do it, and I'm glad I did.
I am. I'm glad you did too. And we met Charlie that night. Did you meet him that night?
Yeah, I met him. But I knew the next day I was going to get to really talk to him.
You were kind of surprised, weren't you?
I was, because I was thinking Charlie Daniels and Hank Williams Jr. Because in my mind they're kind of like, one was that I just thought they were rowdy. All my rowdy friends have settled down, and they, were crazy and wild. And come to find out, Charlie Daniels it was like sitting there talking to my dad. He was very conservative, very much in love with Jesus, which I loved, I loved hearing him talk about the Lord. Loves his wife, loves his country.
Yeah. He wrote the reason we got to be with him is he wrote a book called Let's Make the Day Count. And he's been very active until his death on Twitter, and which is very interesting for an 80-something-year-old. It's kind of like you, Mark, and just keeping up with the socials. But he's very active and was always given just kind of one-liner, not really advice, but maybe platitudes and inspiring words for the day. And so he's built this really large following that doesn't just listen to him because he had all these big hits, and they're not just smoking, drinking, cussing good old boys, but there's actually a wide range of, we were talking about how kids love his shows and loves his advice, and teenagers who follow his Twitter account. So we have a clip actually that is from the interview, just to give you a teaser for the 8 o'clock premiere. And it's strange because this was, again, several months ago. It was before a lot of the race relation things had come really to a head, and the peaceful protests and all that. But he began talking about when he first realized he was prejudiced and how that kind of impacted his perspectives.
racial
Yeah.
prejudice.
Oh
and
my God, that's a learned thing.
That is a learned thing. And nobody is born.
No way.
Nobody is born with prejudice toward anybody.
How did you? Now you come from a very prejudicial
came from a
background, and I
totally-
did too. How did you shuck that?
That is a social thing. You are raised where every white person figure they're better than black people are. They figure that there's a difference. It's some kind of biological difference, and you come up with that in your face all the time. Everything I went to was segregated. I never went to school with a black person. I never went to a movie with a black person. Every restaurant it was all segregated. And when I got up and got away from home and started thinking to myself, it's like, this is silly. I mean, we're talking about other human beings that are the same thing we are. It's a pretty sobering thing. It's something that you really fight with.
Isn't prejudice fear too, like in a different?
It is. It definitely. You just hit the nail on the head. It is.
He's a sweet man.
Yeah, he was. And very thoughtful, again, just thoughts you wouldn't think about. So that's tonight at 8 p.m. Central Time, which is, of course, just here in about 50 minutes. Over on Dinner Conversations YouTube page is where it's first available, before Prime, before Apple Podcasts. And the link is in this post. Wherever you're watching it, you can just click on it already while you're watching this, set a reminder, and you'll be good to go.
So does my hair look like Jerry Falwell Sr.'s now that I've let it grow long?
Absolutely.
Somebody in the comments said your hair looks like Jerry Falwell Sr.
You are the
and I
majority.
I put a sad emoji.
Wait, now is Jerry Falwell Sr. alive?
No, he's dead. They were saying it looked like his hair now. No, they didn't say that. They didn't say
Post-mortem?
So, okay, now, season 2.
Yes.
Season 2
Hard to keep up.
is in Christian bookstores.
That's right. Wherever you buy,
Now,
whatever.
are there any Christian bookstores anymore?
Well, of course there are. There's actually a lot of mom and pop stores. Mardell Stores is still open, but a lot of Christian retail and a lot of retail in general is online, of course. So if you were to buy the DVD or CD at Lifeway or at CBD.com, Christian book distributors, or you can get it at Amazon or wherever. So the point is, it's out today, and season 2 DVD, which has some bonus content that's never been seen except on the DVD, and remember the songs from the set CD. Also, our first musical project together, which is a culling of all our guests. The Isaacs are on it, and Jason Krabs on it, and Russ Taff's on it. Point of Grace is on it, Sandy Patty. A lot of our guests, their little acoustic, intimate moments from on the set are actually on the CD. So those are available everywhere. It's also easiest to get it tonight if you want it and don't have it yet, didn't pre-order it. There's a link also in the post. Or you can just go to dinner-conversations.com, click on the shop tab, and it's specially priced there. It's bundled together, kind of like Gaither does with the DVD and the CD. But we got some clips from it in case you've forgotten it or never seen it. Mark, which one do you want to play first?
Well, who would you like me? Amy Grant?
Yeah, I like
Let's
her.
play Amy. Here's Amy, y'all.
I mean, I really believe that our ultimate fulfillment here and feeling like we're living a meaningful life, I think it has everything to do with how we connect with other people, especially need and surplus. So whatever side of the fence you're on, you're part of a really important dynamic equation that will bring a heightened sense of purpose to your own life. And so because that's that's been my experience. It has become my belief. I mean, years ago when my kids were tiny, and Mary Chapman, Gary's mom, taught me a prayer that I still pray every morning, and it's, God, lead me today to those I need and those that need me, and let something I do have eternal significance. And she said, now you'll never know what that is. Years ago when my kids
Amy, I love her.
Yeah, she was cool to have on, wasn't she?
Oh yeah,
Do you remember?
she's so wise.
Mm-hmm.
I
And very
remember when
calming.
her first album, I may not be every mother's dream, for her little girl. And a guy could sing that too. And because what's his name? Gary Chapman wrote it,
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, Gary wrote it. And he wrote it for himself. I may not be every mother's dream for her little girl. Think about it. To be the boy, the husband.
Wait, what do you mean?
In other words, when you could sing it as a guy. We heard Amy sing it from the girl's perspective.
Okay.
But then you could also say, I may not be every mother's dream for her little girl. I may not be. What's the forgot the words now.
What is it, Ginny?
My faith may not grace the minds of everyone in the world.
My faith may not grace the mind of everyone in the world.
My face may not grace the minds of everyone in the world. But that's all right. As long as I can have one wish, I pray. When people look inside my life, I hope that they will say, he's got his father's eyes. It would work either way.
Yeah,
But boy,
I still
when
don't
she
get the
sang
girl
it,
line, how it works.
I loved it.
When you say my little boy, I'm not my mother's dream.
Oh, because Mary.
Huh?
Do you hear her piping up back there?
See, she's right. She gets it. You're not smart enough to get it. She gets it.
We're not going to talk about her yet. But yeah, Amy, what I remember is that she was so calming. She is calming in general. She's very calming for people around her. But you were the calmest I have ever experienced you in my life. It was a dream come true.
Me?
Yes. You were calm. Yeah,
Yeah.
you were very peaceful and serene. And except for the part in the conversation where you said it would be okay if we went ahead and helped people push themselves over the edge.
What? I hope you cut that part out.
No, it's great. And she said, this is getting weird.
That's very weird because I don't remember it. You want to play Amy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kathie Lee.
Wait, where he played Amy? We're going to play Kathie Lee now.
Yeah, okay.
Kathie Lee. Okay, we got to go to New York City. And we went into the studios where Kathie Lee was doing the what was it? Not Good Morning America. The Today Show. Right? The third hour or something like that. And so she came and we got to and wasn't she when she walked in that room, it's like a bundle of energy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a train.
Yeah. It's like, just get out of the way because she's coming.
Right. But she was so kind. What was really cool about it is that we went, as you said, we went to Rockefeller Center. We, filmed our dinner conversations in their Today Show studio. And did you know that she had kind of been wanting to semi-retire, get out of daily television for a while to do all these projects she's doing. But they had really needed her to stay to help out with some transition. And she worked into her contract that she could host anybody to come interview her. So all these faith-based, different kind of media and stuff were invited right there into Rockefeller Center. And you remember their staff was so kind to us, the Today Show staff, and helped us out. I just thought that's the influence of a person, though, being willing to say, hey, this is what I'd like to do. And then the staff being willing to do that. It's very cool.
And so here's Kathie Lee.
We as Christians most of us have never even read the Bible, even a bad translation of it. Yet we call ourselves a Christian, which means little Christ, and yet we don't even know our guidebook.
Yeah.
And we certainly don't know, if we've been reading certain translations, what it actually says. Mm-hmm. If I'm going to build my whole life, because the Bible says, that to be a Christian has nothing to do with 1 hour in church on a Sunday morning. Mm-hmm. It says, in him we live and move and have our being. That doesn't leave room for anything other than every nanosecond of your existence is about him. From every thought we think to every word we say, and I'm bad at it still after all these years. I've read the Bible now 11 times from beginning to end. But I discovered that some of the translations of it were not. So I've spent 11 years learning something that is not accurate. I'm running out of time to keep learning something that's not accurate.
She was a lot of fun.
She was.
And she is running out of time. She's pretty old.
She's older than you, for sure.
Is. That's what I'm saying. She's pretty old. No, she's not that old. She looks good, though, for 60, probably 68, 9. Yeah. When you say, or 70, how old do you think?
Yeah, she's probably getting close to 70.
Let's ask Siri. Hey,
Okay.
Siri, how old is Kathie Lee Gifford?
Kathie Lee Gifford is 66 years old.
Can you believe that?
There you go.
Don't you love this? Oh, are people commenting? Oh my goodness, are they? Hey everybody, let's see, worshiping with you again. Well, thank you, Mary Grissom Dreer, but we haven't even started worshiping yet.
That rhymes with Greer.
Yeah, her name is Dreer, Dreer. Hey there, Mark. Seen you several times with the Gaithers. Hey, Andy Leakey. Robin Williams MacPaul, she's older than us.
Nice.
Kevin
Then you.
Sandlin, Jimmy Wright, Patricia Ingersoll. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people commenting. And we're glad you're here tonight. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and ring the bell. And if you're watching on Facebook, please share to your people so they can join us or watch later.
Yeah,
if you
absolutely.
miss something, you can always replay it and rewind it and
So,
that type of thing.
you know what? One of the coolest moments from the season 2, which today we're celebrating the season 2 DVD release in all stores, and you can get it at our website, dinner-conversations.com, on the shop tab for cheaper, I think. But one of the favorite conversations we had was in North Carolina. Remember, which your friend with Billy Graham's grandson.
Well, I wasn't really friends with him until I performed there. Now, my mother taught him at Liberty. Was one of his professors, and he was very, very complimentary of her, and it was sweet to hear his stories about my mother. And then he told us some great stories about his grandparents, Billy and Ruth Graham. And wow, that was a fun time. And then hanging out with the child that they love the longest. Isn't that a great way of saying I am their oldest child? What was her? Tell me her name again.
Gigi.
Yeah, Gigi, the oldest child of the Ruth and Billy Graham. She doesn't say I'm the oldest child. She said I am the child they loved the longest. I love that.
Yeah, she was super smart. And they were all very funny and witty, which I thought was great, which apparently their mother, Ruth, was really creative, very witty, and just one of the most educated people that they knew, intelligent people. But remember that Will was talking about his grandfather's hypochondria.
I know. I was so thrilled when I learned that Billy Graham was a hypochondriac. And I learned it from Will. When I was sitting there having lunch with him the first time, he started telling stories about how his sweet grandmother was a saint. I mean, never complained when she was in pain. And she really died of a back problem that took 25 years to kill her. But it finally did. And it was a painful, painful journey. And he said she never, ever complained, never. You'd have to look at her face to know she's in pain and then give her a pain pill, whatever. And she just wouldn't complain. And yet, Billy Graham, every disease he heard about, he was sure he had it.
He thought he was going to die.
Yeah. He thought, I mean, he wore his doctors out because he thought he had everything that came down the pike. And what was the story he told?
The story was, remember when his assistant, David Bruce, who helped us a lot that day, and it continues to work for the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association, was riding with Billy. And Billy said to David...
And this was like, he was early on in working with Dr. Graham.
Right.
So he didn't really know that he was a hypochondriac at that time. So he goes out on the road with Dr. Graham, and Dr. Graham says, hey, call Ruth. And he says, okay, what do you want me to tell her? Tell her I'm dying. And he's thinking, what? And he says, shouldn't we call 911? And Billy Graham says, no, call Ruth. So he calls Ruth, probably a rotary phone back then. He calls Ruth and says, Mrs. Graham, what's his name again?
This is David.
David. He said, this is David. Dr. Graham wanted me to tell you, and he kept looking over at him, that he's dying. And she cackles like a hen and says, tell him to shut up and die like a Christian. Can you believe that? I love it. And she laughed because she knew him. Isn't it great that our heroes were just a pack of freaks like us when you really get down to it. That, you know, Paul had bad eyesight and a temper probably. But Billy Graham was a hypochondriac and probably won more people to Jesus than anybody who's ever lived.
Can you imagine him living in this season of COVID?
Oh.
I mean, but the cool thing about that is you think about it, and even Billy, who was so confident in his faith, assured in his, you know, ultimate communion with God and heaven, yet he still would have been struggling right now with fear. You know?
Let's play the Will Graham. Okay. This is Billy Graham's grandson, and y'all, he looks like him. Looks like a young Billy. Look at this.
Then you started telling me stories that I'm so glad you shared with me about your grandfather. And that he was as human as the rest of us, but he was a hypochondriac.
Let's just say he kept the Mayo Clinic in business. My grandmother and him were exact opposite in this. She never complained, and she really had a lot of pain. On her wall in her bedroom was a crown of Jerusalem thorns, because if her God could go through that, point to the crown, then she's got nothing to, you know, to whine about.
And did Billy ever hear her say this?
Yeah, oh yeah, but he made up for it.
You think about someone who offered so much assurance to people still having what might be irrational fear.
Did he fear anything?
He knew where he was going. I think it was the process of dying.
I'll probably go down in a plane but survive that, then it'll catch on fire, then I'll survive that, then finally I'll be in a raft and I'll survive that and I'll drown.
Yeah, that's right.
I like him.
Yeah, he's so comfortable and so cool.
Yeah.
I loved that. Oh, and we were at Billy and Ruth's first house when we were filming that, by the way. Yeah, that was so cool. So that's all on the season 2 DVD. There's one more clip we want to play before we move on to something else. I hope you're not bored, but we're not of ourselves. So there's a clip. One of my very closest friends, Ginny Owens, was a part of an episode. She and Michael W. Smith were our guests. Separately, and Michael was one of her main mentors, signed her to her first record deal in music early on, and so we were talking with Michael about kind of mentoring a whole generation of musicians and songwriters. So she came on, and you remember, Mark, you talked with her quite a bit about her story, and then we sang together. I think this clip is us singing, which is Mark's favorite
and
thing.
then we saw her again when we went to New York.
Yeah, right before all this went down.
Yeah, right before the pandemic. And she has been living in New York through this pandemic. We need to talk a little bit about that. Let's play the video first.
Okay.
And friends are friends forever if the Lord's the Lord of them. And a friend will not say never, 'cause the welcome will not end. Though it's hard to let you go, in the Father's hands we know that a lifetime's not too long to live as friends. And with the faith and love God's given, springing from the hope we know, we will pray the joy that you live in is the strength that now you show.
We'll keep you close as always.
Okay.
Look who I found in a back room in my house.
My goodness, Ginny Owens. Let me change this from Andrew Greer to Andrew Greer and Ginny Owens. I didn't know we were going to have such a fantastic special guest.
Well, I didn't either. I didn't know I was going to get to be.
What are you doing in Nashville?
You know, I'm recording the last songs on a new record that's coming out and doing a photo shoot tomorrow and hanging out with my friend Andrew. So
tell us about
having some fun.
So you're doing a photo shoot for a new project?
I am, yes. I'm so excited.
Can you tell them about that project?
Oh, so it's a triple album.
A what?
A triple album, like 3 albums in one.
Huh.
A lot of music. Huh, yes.
It's a triple album.
A triple album, yes. So it's been so long since I put out an album that we're going to put out 3 all at once. So it's going to be really fun. I know. So,
And they're going to be pop, worship, and singers. They're going to be like themed,
yes,
right?
they're going to be themed. So they have, I can't tell you all the secrets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
When will it be released?
That's fine. No, but yeah, kind of 3 different styles, and so it's going to be really
Well,
fun.
Martha Jo Doyle Booker says that she loves Jenny's voice.
Oh, well, that's so sweet. Thank you, Martha Jo.
Speaking or singing?
Evidently both. We got 1,097 people with us today that are watching.
That's a lot of people.
That's not as much as are in New York City that are living next to Jenny.
Hey, Jenny, tell us about living in New York City in a pandemic.
I wouldn't recommend it for sure, but it's it's been very interesting. The very sweet and cool part about it is that when you go outside and you go to the park, everyone is at the park, and so all the kids are like playing sidewalk games and using sidewalk chalk to paint or to draw things on the pavement, and everyone's out having fun. I always think when I go to the park in New York, I think it's like what heaven will be like.
Yeah.
Because just people from every nation, tribe, and tongue all together and just celebrating, laughing, having a great time. So it's been really sweet to go to the park, or to different parks, just in different moments in the pandemic, because it's been so quiet. It's not now, everything's opening up there, but it's kind of been morbidly, eerily quiet for so long. So to actually get to go to the park and everyone's there and it's like lively and fun, it's been really, really sweet.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, and when this started, it was still winter, so it
Yeah.
probably was really eerie at first.
Oh, yeah.
Remember I called you at the beginning of the pandemic?
Oh, you called me?
I did. I called
Oh,
you. And
you did?
Well, we talked on the phone. I'm sorry you don't remember it. And I asked you, why are you going to stay there? And you said yes.
Oh, that's right. Yes, we did talk on the
Yeah,
phone.
well, I'm glad. Well, good night. I really made a memory there.
Oh, that's been so long ago. That's right. We did talk.
But you survived it, and you're.
I have
So
survived
far.
it so far.
So far.
Yeah.
Yes, we're hanging in there. So.
I'm so
It does feel
glad.
like a lifetime ago.
It does.
It is unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah. When were you guys? Were you guys there in January or February?
No,
When were we there?
I feel like it was mid to late February, which means like right before Broadway
It
had
was. It
gone
was
black.
like the 14th, the week of Valentine's Day.
Yes.
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 Wow.
Because and I don't think Broadway had because we saw some
We
Broadway
saw
shows.
some Broadway shows. Yeah, that's right.
Well,
Yeah.
it wasn't. There was no. We had no idea a pandemic was anywhere near us. Is all I know.
Oh,
And then
man.
I was on. I was up there doing Carnegie Hall at the same time. Wasn't that the same time? Then I stayed
that was-
over.
Mm-hmm.
We had no clue.
No, and they packed out Carnegie Hall. I mean, just 2 or 3 weeks before nobody could be side by side. It's kind of
Yeah, it's
interesting.
very strange.
Yeah,
Very.
but here we are.
Here we
Look,
are.
Here we are side by side without masks on. Jenny,
Yeah.
Jenny
It's
wears.
so weird. I told Andrew.
Well, y'all have to get married now.
This week has been so weird in Nashville because like everyone like hugs each other. And
Yeah,
I'm
we're all like, "Hey,
yeah,
how you
it's like so strange. You're like, oh my gosh, what's happening?
I know
Yeah.
you can't anymore.
In New York, she said they're all still air hugging and like it's really.
Yes, in New York, if you go outside without a mask on, you get in big trouble. Somebody on the street's like, put on your mask. Although one day a doctor stopped us and she said, hey, take off your mask and get some oxygen. We were like, okay, who do we believe?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, listen. What are we going to do now?
Okay, so now we're actually Jenny's going to help us. What we're doing
that's
is
right.
we are drawing today finally. So here's the deal. ChildFund, as you guys know, sponsored our season 3. We've been telling you about our trip to Guatemala, showed you episodes about it. You've been sponsoring kids from there, which is really, really cool. And you can sponsor a kid from Guatemala, United States, or anywhere around the world. So our goal is 50 sponsorships total. That's by next Friday, July 31st, or by the end of the month, whatever day that is, July 31st. to get 50 by then, because everyone who sponsors by then will receive an invitation to our Dinner Conversations Friends and Family Weekend in Nashville next June, okay? And you'll receive an invitation for you plus a guest. So we want 50 people to sponsor a kid. And right now, Mark, we've got, I believe, 40 sponsors. So we just need 10 more in the next. Ginny said she'll pick up 3.
Ah, no.
Perfect.
But what we're doing today is we're drawing from all those who have sponsored, those 40 people who have sponsored so far. We're drawing a name for those autographed out-of-print CCM magazine covers. Pull those up. You got those?
You know what? I'm trying to find them right now.
They might be in
They were. You sent them to me, right?
an email, I think.
Oh, in an email?
Yeah, and I don't think I have them on. Actually, I might have them.
I just had them, and evidently I deleted. How did that? Wait a minute. If it's in an email, give me just 1 second.
Throw up some comments while you're doing that, and I'll answer them. Or does anyone have a question for Ginny? She can answer.
Oh, that'd be good.
So anyone with a question for Ginny, you just say the word.
Let's see. Mark required. Masks are required as of tomorrow in Minnesota. Everybody just put on your mask. Get used to it. Hi from England, Carol Garnham. I love that you're watching over there in England, and they're watching in Lakeland, Florida, too.
Oh, that's where
Are you
it's
drawing?
heavy.
Are you drawing a?
We're not drawing it. I'm making sure they're all folded really nice. I'm waiting for you to find the
Oh,
picture.
you want me to keep looking?
Well, yeah, we should show it. I might have it here in the closet. Talk to Ginny for a second.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Mr. Mark.
What you been up to, hon?
You know, just trying to stay out of trouble.
How long has it been since you've been able to go do a concert?
The last concert I did was the beginning of February. So it's been a good long while.
Wow.
Yep.
I tell him I found them.
Oh, he found them.
Okay.
There's one right there.
Hang on.
There's one, and the other one is right here. Looky there.
Yes. He found them.
I got them both.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, there you go. So that's a cover from, 1996.
Is that right?
That's signed by Mark. That's what I'm reading on the picture you're
I
showing.
signed it last year, but CCM magazine gave these both to you, I guess.
Yeah, they found them, and they're kind of archives or something. Of course, one's from the one of you and me is from 2017 or something. And they'll all be signed. The 2017 one is not signed yet, but that's because it's on its way to you. So we're drawing 4 people's names because there's 2 of each. All right, you ready for this?
We doing it right now?
Well, why not?
Okay, magazine's down.
Here they are. These are the names. All right, Ginny.
And these are people who did what again?
These are people who sponsored a child so far.
Okay, good.
We want 50 people to sponsor, but 40 have so far, and we're going to draw names. This was one incentive.
Right. Okay.
It probably wasn't really much of an incentive, but we tried.
Now, Jenny, don't look.
So stupid.
I knew you'd cheat like that.
Okay, it's upside down. Our first winner is Karen Calabrese from Herndon,
Karen.
Virginia. We know Karen.
She's my Catholic friend.
Oh,
you got one.
I do. I have one.
It's his token.
Yeah.
It allows.
Congratulations, Karen. You get this.
And we have your addresses, so you can respond in the comments or say yay or whatever. That's fine, but we've got your addresses, so they'll go straight to you. Okay. Karen Calabrese, Herndon, Virginia. All right, here we go, Jenny. Draw another name. The beautiful Vanna has made her.
Phyllis Stitches said she will sponsor. Thank you, Phyllis.
Thank you, Phyllis. The link is childfund.org/dinner conversations.
Huh.
And you can find that all over our socials too, as well as our website. All right, Pam Williams from Mansfield, Ohio. Pam has sponsored 2 kids so far.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's extra supportive. All right, here we go. Oh, hang on, wait. Oh, third one, put it back in.
Is that what it looks like? childfund.org/dinner conversations?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay, good. I did it right.
All right, Mark, here's a short one. Okay, this one is Suzanne Norwood from Canyon, Texas.
Who?
Suzanne Norwood.
Suzanne. Oh, Susan, not Suzanne.
Oh,
that's Susan Norwood.
Well, Susan or Suzanne, it will still be mailed to you. All right. Last one. Here we go.
Norwood. All right.
All right, here's a long one. Joy Gregory, another one of our
Joy
favorites.
Gregory.
Kalispell, Montana.
These are names we've seen for years.
Yes, well, it's really cool, Mark, as I was going through, and I actually hand wrote these.
Yeah.
Do you see that? Isn't that amazing? Because I'm
You
devoted.
are amazing. Let's hear it for Andrew, y'all. He does a lot of work. He gets no recognition and very little pay.
I was in a mood this morning, wasn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was not very
I
kind.
thought he was going to have to get saved again.
So anyway, I hand wrote them out, but point is, what was the point? Oh, as I was reading through the names, Mark, they're all names that we see all the time. You guys have you supported Project Beautiful in season 1 and season 2. You gave so much to Food for the Hungry and the Rohingya refugee crisis. And then now you're sponsoring kids. It's just very, very cool. We're very, very grateful. So,
we appreciate
so that's
it.
that. So don't forget, and then Mark, you can do what you want. The season 2 DVD right there with Ginny and Amy and Kathie Lee.
Now, how
and
did they get that?
Michael, you can go to dinner-conversations.com, click on the shop tab, or click on the link in our post in Facebook. And as well, the songs from the set CD. You can also get it wherever you shop online. If you do still go into physical retail, which really with the mask and all that, who would? So there's those. That's available today. And then don't forget, we'd love 10 more people to sponsor Child through ChildFund. And lastly, just in 22 minutes, the link is in the post for our YouTube channel, Dinner Conversations YouTube channel, the Charlie Daniels episode premiere, the late Charlie Daniels. I know. It's sad, but it's cool. I mean, it's cool to watch the conversation of the fact that his legacy lives on. That's the cool thing about filming stuff. His legacy lives on through that conversation forever.
And I put stuff on YouTube since 2006, and to think all that's going to live on. Because I put some when I was just learning how to do all this stuff, going back to 2006.
Seeing some of those, they were so low res. Can you believe we watched that stuff?
Oh, I know it.
It was like all pixelated.
It was so much fun because I just knew this was going to be big one day, that we're going to be able to reach the world. And you know what? We can. Right now I'm sitting here. And where are you going, Jenny? You bored with me already? Good Lord, she'll forget this conversation too. She'll forget this conversation. I'll talk to her and say, you remember when we had you on our little show? She'll say, what? Now, who are you? Here, let me feel your face. No, I don't recognize that.
I will not say that.
She's done been reached.
Okay, so at 8 p.m., that's in 20 minutes, everybody go get your decaf unsweet iced tea and get ready to hear old Charlie Daniels, because we've done about everything else. Oh, you know what? You want to do a Child Fund? My Child Fund commercial?
Yeah, let's do it real quick.
All right, y'all, this is my Child Fund. Listen closely, Jenny.
Yes, sir.
I have sponsored children for as long as I can remember, and I love doing it. I've never had a child, and it's the best way for a single person to have a child. Sponsor them. You're not really responsible, but you help, and I like that. I've got 5 right now I'm sponsoring with Child Fund, and I couldn't be happier. I love these kids, and I'm glad I can help, but I'm glad they're not really mine. So go to childfund.org/dinner conversations and sponsor your child you don't have to really invest that much into. Can you imagine if you only had to spend $36 a month on the ones you birthed? This is a deal.
I did not mean to do that.
They thought you were done.
I know, you thought I was done too. Of course, we should be. It's 44 minutes we've been going, and it's in 19 minutes. We premiere on YouTube.
That's right, Charlie Daniels.
Jenny's got that face like, is he serious? He's acting like this is some big deal. This is just a stinking YouTube premiere. Why is he acting like this is such a big deal?
Well, listen, earlier I was telling her with Charlie Daniels, she was like, that's so cool, but she had no idea that he had passed away.
Yeah, I didn't know he passed away. I've been living under a rock because I've been in school. So.
Oh yeah. What are you studying?
I am studying for my MDiv, and I just finished my big Hebrew paper yesterday. So now I'm done with all my Hebrew classes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, exactly.
You really want to know how to read Hebrew?
Well, I can read it now.
Really? I mean, is that going to really help? I mean,
yeah.
How
Is
we-
that going to make an amount of difference in my life? I mean, I don't know. Maybe someday.
Kathy Lee would say so.
Yeah.
I know she says that he
know,
wasn't
that's-
a carpenter, he was a stonemason. That there were no trees where he grew up, and that he was a stonemason. Is that true, M. Diver?
Yeah, I've never heard that, but I don't know. I would go with Kathie Lee.
Yeah.
I would.
It would make environmental sense. I think the point she was trying to make is if we get the little things wrong in our translations, then it would make it difficult for people to trust the big things. So that's why the little things are important, because people are always, they're critical, they're cynical.
Yeah.
Cynical. So now we can go to Ginny when we have a question. When someone is being
get ready,
cynical.
Jenny,
All right.
She won't
because
remember.
I still like thinking he's a carpenter.
Yeah. I'll have to go look up the Greek word for carpenter
And
and
go see if he was a carpenter or a stonemason.
Yes, sir. I will
And
write you a.
if you can prove her wrong, let me know, because I'll go find her and say, "Looky here, Kathie Lee."
Okay, I'll go
She
figure
was
it out.
so dogmatic and loud.
I know.
I liked her. All right, we'll see y'all at 8 o'clock. How about that?
All right.
All right, everybody. See you
Good
at
to see you,
8.
Mark. You look great.
Bye-bye.
Bye.